দর্শক আমন্ত্রণ জানাচ্ছি চ্যানেল 24 এর নিয়মিত আয়োজন মুখোমুখিতে। মুখোমুখিতে প্রতিবারই আমাদের সাথে একজন দেশি কিংবা বিদেশি অতিথি থাকে, আমরা কথা বলি তার সাথে। আজকে আমাদের সাথে আছেন ঢাকার বিদায়ী জার্মান রাষ্ট্রদূত আকিম ট্রস্টার। হ্যালো এক্সেলেন্সি, ওয়েলকাম টু দ্য শো।
Hello, Morshed. Thank you very much for inviting me, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Excellency, it's probably, this was the first show, if you call it in English, face-to-face, when you appeared, and this can be the last show when you're living.
Yes, I think so, sadly. 4 years have gone by, and time has passed very swiftly.
Yes, 4 years, lots of changes, lots of drama, new Bangladesh, old Bangladesh. I really want to know how's your journey in Bangladesh in last 4 years?
It was really a fantastic journey, and full of so many very deep and profound impressions. Well, first of all, you have alluded to it. Politically, it was full of events. I've had the honor to witness a very thorough transition from one government to another. I've seen the events in July of last year, which were very emotional, and which have done deep marks, I think, on everybody who was witnessing it. And we have seen the establishment of a new government that is trying to or devoted to bringing forward reforms. And we have seen a thriving economy also. The trade relations between Germany and Bangladesh are flourishing. We've seen some business delegation coming here. So it was full of not only interesting but also extremely positive events.
Right. Excellency, how's your days back in July and August? How much you were allowed, being a diplomat, to witness? And when you talk to the ex-government, how many information they have shared with you? Was it difficult to get? There was no internet. Also, there was a lot of pressure that you don't make statements in favor of the students. If you also remember correctly, you've been asked to meet here and there by the foreign ministry. Some of you have been summoned because of the statement. Was it really difficult being a diplomat, and is it a new experience for you?
No, honestly, it was not really difficult. It was emotional because we had seen that a peaceful student protest turned into an onslaught with a lot of victims, and even standing in my office, I could see that there was some tumult. I could see some shooting. Well, this is on an emotional basis difficult, but politically it was not. First of all, this was an internal affair of the country. We have been vociferous with regard to the use of force, and we have been insisting on the right to peaceful demonstrations. But apart from that, it is not the task of an ambassador to interfere into domestic affairs. And we have been briefed on several occasions by the government at that time. I even had the honor to be received by the Prime Minister at that time for a 1-hour talk. But of course, as a diplomat, you have to form your own opinion on your assessment, and the official statements and information were, of course, not the only ones that we received. I could see a lot myself. I could talk to my Bangladeshi colleagues, to our employees who told us a lot, and I could read something. We were not completely cut off from the internet, thanks God, and thanks to the Berlin administration, we had some backup, so we could form an independent opinion. And you may assume that it was not really exactly on the line of the previous government.
Right. And were you forced to see Sheikh Hasina at that time? I heard it from ministry sources.
No, not at all. I was very kindly asked if that would be of interest for me to meet with the Prime Minister, and it was an honor for me. I'm representing my country, and to talk to the Prime Minister is always an honor and an excellent opportunity. You know, we had a very nice conversation. If it had a lot.
But I believe there was some disagreement between the talks.
There was a disagreement. I didn't make it explicit. I was asking, I was listening to what the Prime Minister had to tell me, and I left with a complete different version given by the Prime Minister at the time of what I could read, what I could hear, and what I could see.
Right. Now, Excellency, the new government have taken place. You have seen him, the chief advisor and the foreign advisor as well, and you are seeing the country is progressing. So, after 5th August, when the new government has taken place, it's been nearly a year. What are the challenges you see is now they need to face, and maybe being diplomat you also face?
Yeah. Well, I think the main priorities have been indicated by the government. First of all, it was the re-establishment of law and order, and I think the government has widely succeeded in that. I think that the military has played an extremely constructive role in that. Mm-hmm. And if I remember how many people had presented to me different scenarios in case of a regime change, I'm very happy that these very negative and bloody scenarios have not realized. Right. I think Bangladesh and the government and all the important stakeholders and the security force have done a great job. There are a lot of reforms that have been tackled. Well, it's up to the political stakeholders to find a consensus on the scope and also on the depth of all these reforms. Well, of course, the European Union, and Germany is a member of the European Union, we very much support the transition to more democratic structures. We are in favor of free and fair elections. Right. We are in favor of respect for human rights and for rule of law. And I think these issues are being discussed. In some areas we have seen already results, but what I can say now that all the stakeholders work constructively in a dialogue together to find a consensus, because the essence of democracy is finding a consensus, and that always means you cannot impose your view on others. It means compromise. And I think against the...
Do you see the compromising mentality among the people?
Yeah, what was something I wanted to allude to. I have already said 2.5 years ago that for me, just a very personal remark, I think that the political landscape is very antagonized. And I don't believe that to that extent it is very healthy. It is not good for Bangladesh, it's not good for the Bangladeshi people. Of course, democracy is a difficult undertaking, which requires the willingness to take also compromises. And perhaps not everybody goes out of a meeting 100% satisfied, but that is the meaning of democracy. And I still see this sense of compromise not developed with all stakeholders. I think, if I may say so, I don't want to patronize the country, not at all, but I think to more peacefully function, I think this willingness to accept compromises will still have to be a bit more developed. But I think Bangladesh is on a good way.
Yeah, thank you, really. Excellency, before we take the break, I have another short question to ask you. So, did you see, or did any diplomat or your colleagues in the diplomatic arena see the changes is about to come by this revolution? If we see, because diplomats have to sometimes, have to write a report and send back to the headquarters.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. I sent some reports, and I even sent one on the 4th of August. And honestly, I had no idea what would happen. I was fearing, and I've reported that to Berlin, that this next day would become extremely bloody, because nobody would know how the military would react. I could also not foresee that the government, like any other observer, could disappear that swiftly. I am very happy that in the evening of the 5th of August, not hundreds or thousands of innocent Bangladeshis were lying dead or wounded on the streets. No, but I didn't foresee that. I didn't anticipate that.
Very specifically, if I ask you, during your tenure, how much investment are you really able to brought from your place, and where is now the bilateral relationship, if you want to mention any figure?
You're really touching a soft spot, but I honestly, what should I say, that's also a bit unfair. I think you should ask the question about how much investment has been brought from Germany to Bangladesh, to my dear colleague who is acting in Berlin,
right,
who is the Bangladeshi officer, ambassador. Well, my first job is to promote a German business here, of course, and well, I think it's a good sign for Bangladesh that the trade balance is very much in disfavor of Germany. Yeah. It's about Germany is buying for about $8 billion more than Bangladesh is buying from us. That is absolutely okay, but it is my job also to try to open markets here and to accompany German companies who would like to enter into business with Bangladesh. There has been some interest for investment. There has been a lot of trade. Let me shortly remind as of the fact that Germany is the second largest importer of garment products, right, in the world, and the EU as such is the biggest importer. So our business relations are very, very intense, and we have a presence of more than 65 German companies here in Bangladesh, and they are all very successful, and they are also very, very satisfied during my tenure, and also during the time of
no challenge. I mean, if they're satisfied,
there are some challenges. Everybody told me it's not always easy.
Right.
But during my 4 years, and even in the times of less political stability, which is always a basis requirement for business, nobody wanted to leave. Just to the contrary, there are 2 or 3 companies who have the intention to increase their investment here. Nobody wanted to leave, and everybody has said sometimes it's difficult, there are challenges,
yes,
but we can do very well business, it's worth it, and nobody has ever thought of leaving.
Excellency, is the challenges internal or external?
The challenges are mainly internal.
Okay.
They have to do with red tape.
Is it about the business ecosystem?
Yeah. Well, I think all the business people, and I'm also talking on behalf of the European partners, and also business people from other bigger trade partners, right, have very often submitted their assessment and their suggestion to the various Bangladeshi governments. There are some issues that means, most of all, I would call it red tape, bureaucracy, trade barriers, non-tariff trade barriers. Then we have, in the last time, a bit lacking stability that is always toxic for investment plans. I would say this is more internal.
Right. Excellency, as you also became part of the labor rights issue, because if I am not wrong, Germany is there to help ILO and Bangladesh to move the standards higher. So the labor law is not passed till now. Of course, there are some political changes, but new government. So what's your expectation? When do you want this amendment to be passed?
Well, I can only appeal to the responsibility of all the relevant stakeholders, because in dealing with the European Union, this will have a very important influence and impact, because Bangladesh, and that's an extremely welcome development, will graduate from being a least developed country in 26 to a middle income country, and that is great. And so far, at least in trading with the European Union, Bangladesh is benefiting from a trade regime that is called everything but arms. So
right.
in fact, Bangladeshi exporters don't have to pay any customs. And with the increased wealth and capacities of a not any longer least developed country, the requirements that are imposed by the European unions for our trading partners are a bit higher because these countries who are not any longer LDCs are more capable. And in order to qualify for the next preferential regime, every country, and in this case Bangladesh, will have to qualify for the next step, which is called GSP+, and labor rights are a very important issue in that.
Excellency, as UN is wanted to have a human rights office in Bangladesh, being a development partner, do you think that is needed, or that is not needed? What do you think?
Well, I think the establishment of a human rights office of the United Nations, well, first of all, has to be welcomed by the government. And if the government really wants to have some international advice on human rights issues and wants to benefit from the expertise that the OHCHR has, with this respect, I think it can be very helpful for the country. But there has to be a willingness to do so.
Right. And as the fact-finding mission came up with the report that Awami League should not be banned, but it's been banned till the trial, and rap should be banned because they are highly involved with the extrajudicial killing. Being a diplomat, what do you think of this banning?
First of all, this is a sovereign political decision of Bangladesh, and we don't have to interfere in that. Another issue is the legal one, because the UN has given a report that is a very profound legal assessment. And well, I'm representing a country that is a member of the Council of Europe, and we have also regulations with regard to the banning of institutions and of parties, and these are quite complicated legal requirements that have to be fulfilled in order to ban some basic rights of free opinion and the free right to assembly, and banning institutions that is exactly impeding the free exercise of these rights. We think that the major criteria should be legality and the necessity. These are the major points that should have to be respected. But in the end, it is a political decision. I only, as an observer for 4 years, can make a notice or a remark. I hope this will contribute to the stability and to what is here sometimes called the social harmony of the country, and will not further compound difficulties. Right.
Excellency, we are about to end the show. Before I end the show, I know that this is your last posting. You had long 3-decade career, and you went to different countries. And this is from Bangladesh. When you go back to, or you land at your place, you'll be free bird. So, what's your retirement plan, basically?
Okay, honestly, my retirement plan is to rejoin my family, which mainly consists of my wife, but she has always accompanied me here, and is to rejoin our daughter. We have been separated for the last 11 years, and I'm really very looking forward to seeing her much often. And I would also like to do a lot of sports. Okay. I'm a very big amateur of cycling, and I have several race bicycles. and I hope that the German winters will not become too strong in order to put too much obstacle at me trying to do some rides. And I would also like to try if I can become a good gardener, because we have in our garden a greenhouse, and I will try to nourish my wife and my daughter by growing vegetables.
So you'll become a farmer?
Yeah, but let's see. I have no idea if I have any talent and skills for that. We'll see. But I think even older white men need some challenges.
Excellency, thank you. This will be my last question, and this is the most important question maybe, because a lot of Bangladeshis are facing visa challenges, and you are the one who they believe you are responsible for. Is it so?
If I'm a responsible person for it, I assume my responsibilities. No, jokes apart, I can very well understand the complaints about the delays in issuing the visa. The only thing I can do is ask for comprehension, because still we are only humans and we have very limited capacities. Your compatriots are dealing with a small institution governed by the German government, but not by the state as a whole, and we have very limited capacities. We have seen such a dramatic increase in the demand for visa since I am here that it is absolutely not possible to handle all the visa within the period of time that we all would wish for. Just to give you the most striking example, when I came here, we had a waiting list of 3,500 student visa, and we all thought that this had been accumulated during the lockdowns and COVID, but that we could easily match up with that. Now we have a waiting list only for students that comprises 85,000 applicants. And we have a maximum capacity of, I've always said 2,000 this year. We will not reach there. The highest number was 1,700 last year. And this has become surreal. And it is very sad that we have to disappoint a lot of people who really want to go to study to Germany, but this capacity is something that we not have. We don't have the personnel for that. It takes a long professional training to become a consular officer. These people are expensive to come here. We would not even have enough space in the embassy. And the only thing I can ask for is really reflect, mainly with regard to the students, if there are currently not other options which promise much swifter and more adequate pursuit of the studies. And with regard to family reunion visa, I can only say I've observed, I've watched colleagues for the last 4 years. They're doing really a very hard job and they are very busy. I ask for your comprehension. The demand is simply too high. We're doing our best, you can trust in it, but as long as there is such an increase in the demand, the waiting time will unfortunately persist. I'm very much regretting this, but I cannot change all the parameters.
Thank you, Excellency, so much. I wish you good luck and enjoy your life. Thank you for coming to Channel 24.
Thank you so much for being such a good friend, and thank you to Bangladesh and to the Bangladeshi people to have prepared to my wife and me 4 fantastic years here. We have enjoyed it so much. Thank you.
Wish you all the best. দর্শক, আমরা বিদায়ী জার্মান রাষ্ট্রদূতের সাথে কথা বলছিলাম। তিনি আশাবাদী তার ক্যারিয়ারে এতগুলো জীবন তিনি পার করে আসছেন, সামনে হয়তো বা আরও ভালো দিন আছে, এবং আশাবাদী বাংলাদেশকে নিয়ে ধন্যবাদ জানালেন তার এবং তার স্ত্রীর পক্ষ থেকে। দুর্দান্ত 4 বছর কাটিয়েছেন তিনি। দেখা হবে মুখোমুখির অন্য কোনো পর্বে।